Hello, everybody on the internet. It's been a little while, I know. Sorry about that. It's just been kind of up until like this last week, not a lot to report. Had some more lessons at all three places. They've all gone fine. I didn't do anything particularly inspired or interesting at any of them. Well, I guess at Kogyo, I did make a worksheet they were impressed with just because the um, the topic was basically your house. And so introducing all of the vocabulary and stuff. Um, First off, I drew basically my house on the board and just like went through each room and was like, I on the right wall I have and I would draw something. What's this? And they say table, and what's this? Television, and some yes, television or TV, chest and a bookshelf and what are these things that I think they would know already. I asked them, and if it was something a little more rare, like a cupboard or a counter or chest of drawers, I would say it and have them repeat it after me. And once I had all that up, I had a worksheet that I had made in just the default Windows 3D Paint program that turned out pretty well. At least conveyed everything, so they were real impressed with that, and I let them keep the file so they can make it again. I don't think I have any with me to show. But basically, just like on the side, we're just like fill in the blank, and on this side, it had pictures with the numbers over the object, and they would fill it in. It was done pretty well. So, table, vase, counter, bookshelf, TV, fridge, stuff like that. And they seemed to understand that pretty well. Then they briefly talked to each other about their dream house. So that was the only like standout lesson. And then like 2 weeks ago, it was a super easy week because everybody was doing exams of one type or another, like every school. So I didn't have to plan anything for any school. I just had to show up and like help grade papers and stuff. So that was a pretty lax week. And then this week is, or meaning last week, it's Sunday now. Kogyo had the sports festival, so I got to go to that. It was pretty fun. They started off with a weird event where like each class had a team of four people, and three of them were basically a horse, and the other one rode on them and had a squeaky hammer and a helmet with a ball like taped to it. And the goal was to knock off the ball from the other people's helmet with your pico hammer, while the three kids are like carrying them like they're riding into cavalry battle, like for human polo or something. I don't know what they called it a name. I could not pronounce it for you. I'm sorry. I think it started with a K. Um, and it was fun to watch. It was kind of a more laid back sport. And it was just like, yeah, it was fun. I was like, it was very unusual. Then after that, they had badminton for like a couple of hours. I actually after in between games there was like a little exhibition uh, where the teachers played and they invited me and I played and I think my team won. They didn't have the people keeping score on the side and I can't keep track of what's a point and what's false in tennis or badminton. So I was like, but I didn't embarrass myself too much in that one. I missed a couple of like surveys, but for the most part, we volleyed it back and forth pretty well. Um, and there was basketball for a good long while. That was fun to watch. I, I'm not a big sports guy, as if you know me, you are aware. So I would kind of sneak off and mess with my phone for a minute and come back and go use the restroom and walk up around. All the time I'm like trying to make small talk with some of the Japanese teachers. There's a couple of them that speak English to some degree or another. And so the normal English speakers I can just talk to. And then the people that know some English, we're kind of trying to figure out what each other is saying. And then everybody else is just like pointing and gesturing and stuff, and it's fun regardless of the level. It's not sure how much information was actually exchanged. But it was fun. Then after basketball, it was soccer, which God, I hate soccer. It's so boring. But it was a little better with the kids just because they react a lot more than like normal like professional soccer people, and they some of them were good, but there was a lot of like wild shots and almosts that it made it feel good seeing them react and hearing the people in back go oh nah that kind of I liked that element. I didn't actually enjoy watching soccer, but I enjoyed watching other people watch soccer, if that makes sense. um, so that one I kind of zoned out a bit. Still making small talk. I talked to like one random student about how he likes fishing, and I was telling him about how I like to go fishing and about fishing for bass, and brim. And he was confused at first because he only knew about sea bass, and I'm like, no, there's other kinds of bass in lakes and rivers too. I have like smallmouth bass, and he's like, oh, I've heard of that. Or he didn't say I've heard of that. He's like, oh, like he realized what I was talking about. Like, and just stuff like that. I was wearing a shirt that had on Straw Hat Crew, which is a reference to a very popular anime over here. So I got several, you know, questions and chatting about anime. And I also had my bag that is just covered in both American and Japanese nerd culture stuff, like a couple popular anime, a couple popular comic books. Little, I had my little Pokemon like stuck in a pocket, so he was out kind of like yeah. So that made for some good small talk. I cannot for the life of me remember what this thing is called in Japanese. They said it, and I forgot. I need to remember that. What else? And then after that, there was track and field, which just for fun, and so and I had some nervous energy to burn off after being bored to death by soccer. I ran. Uh, I did a warm up run, just like the length of the field, and everybody cheered. And then after that, I guess they liked it. So the teachers invited me to run on their relay team. And so I ran first and managed to keep pace with the kids. I was better at the start, so I got a little bit of a lead. And then they just started to pass me as I handed off. So I did my part of the race. I think we still came in last, my team, but not by a lot. And it was kind of funny since the last person on our squad, since he was running out of breath, he like cut the turn and came inside. He was still behind, so nobody minded, but it was just kind of funny. Um, then I went back to Kuji, had something to eat, and I had realized I had lost my phone. Rather, I thought I had lost my phone. And I looked through my car like 3 times and through my bag, and I was like, well, I must have left it to Kuji. So I drove back, or I must have left it to Kogyo. So I drove back to Kogyo and like told him I can't find my phone. We checked the field, we checked the bathroom, we checked the office. A couple of people checked my car as well as me, looked under and around, and we just for the life of we couldn't find it. We're trying to figure out, well, can we get a homing thing through iPhone? And I'm like, I don't have an iPhone, I have an Android. And they're like, oh, and so they called Interact to see if they could get the number to call my phone because I don't know my phone number because it's new. And then somebody like happened to look in this little bitty pocket like underneath the radio, one of those. And so my phone was like on vibrate and turned and upside down so you could barely see it. And I didn't see it. Several other people that looked in the car didn't see it, but one guy happened to notice it and was like as most of us were like in the class like trying to look on the computer to figure out if there was like a way to tap into the location tracker of the phone. He like comes up to the window and is like and so got my phone, went back home, and it came finally was back here at like 6, and I frantically cleaned my house for an hour because we were having a party that evening, like several of the ALTs coming over to both mine and Robert's apartment. Well, coming to go eat, and then from eat we do karaoke, and then they'd come back just to like sleep at the two apartment. But I didn't want I'm a single guy. My place gets a little messy, so it scramble after all of that, and managed to get them cleaned up. And I think I was finished like 2 minutes before they arrived. And so we went. We had what do we have? I don't remember now. All right, we had a little everything. We went to this one restaurant that like serves a bunch of different types of food, and we had like gyoza and fried chicken and edamame and sushi and just a bunch of random stuff until everybody was full. And uh, then we went to karaoke and we stayed out till about, well, let me clarify. I stayed out till 11 because I only want to do one round of Nomi Hodai, which a Nomi Hodai is you pay $20 and you drink as much as you want for 2 hours. And it can be Coke or alcohol or whatever. Uh, since it was a party, I drank sake and I had like 8 shots or something, and I was starting to feel pretty tipsy. And but I still had enough of my own senses to when they asked, "Do you want another round?" I'm like, "No, I pay now and I'm gone." And the owner like understood from my gestures that I was done, and so he gave me my bill, and I left, and um, because I knew from the last time we went to karaoke, two is too much. I was miserable like this by about halfway through the second round of karaoke because it gets hot and loud and just I'm a 30-something-year-old guy. I don't have the stamina to stay out all night anymore. If I ever did, I didn't. I was never much of a partier. So anyway, so I walked home. I was a little bit like I didn't like tip, but it was hard to walk a straight line. Like I would, eh, so I was close to drunk. I don't know. I was probably like one more shot, maybe two, and then I would be full on drunk. So I guess eight to 10 shots is about where I'm at for normal tolerance. And then I start killing people. Not really. Maybe I don't know. I've never been drunk. Um, uh, but yeah, everybody was fun. Hung out. Let's see here. And then passed out. Next day, I had training, online training from 10 to whenever we finished. I finished around 1. So after everybody woke up, we chatted for a bit, got cleaned up. I did my training. And then I just had them visit in there because everybody on that side was passed out and everybody in my place was up. I guess we just happened to get these semi early risers. So, oh, I forgot. We did go out for breakfast. We went for breakfast ramen at the Samurai Boogie, a restaurant not far from here. It was good. Uh, the ramen I got there last time had a bit too strong of a broth, but the breakfast ramen was lighter and I liked it better. Evan was still kind of hungover, so he didn't eat anything, but the other two ladies did. Let's see what else. Had my training. Oh, while I was after around noon or so, everybody else got off and went to Hachinohe to like do some shopping and stuff, and I had my training to do, and honestly, I didn't really want to get out again. So I was glad I had the excuse. Like, no, I'll stay home and play and finish my training, and then play video games the rest of the day. So they went off and did that. Uh, I had a great time. The new Pokemon game DLC just came out, so I spent like as soon as I got done with my training around 1, I spent the rest of the day doing that. Had a lot of fun. Um, that's pretty much been it. I can't think of anything else like relevant to talk about. Uh, I got a card from Nanny. yesterday actually. So I can get mail from America, just so you know. Um, I haven't tried any more new foods. I mean, it's the same new foods, you know, onigiri and gyoza and etc. etc. Um, I had been having some allergy issues, but I was able to. They have Allegra. I just had to figure out how to read it, so I could buy it, and that seems to have helped. Oh, I guess I should mention we slept over at mine and Robert's places this time. Last week we also had a get together, and we stayed at one of their places. So I've had two slumber parties in a row, in two weekends in a row, and I think that's more than I had the entirety of my childhood. It's been kind of an interesting bit. I think that's all of any merit to talk about, other than just normal classes, normal whatever. Um, I guess the weather is it's starting to get hot, and so they've switched from the normal uniform to summer wear, which is basically instead of the full suit, I can wear just like a button-up shirt. Like if I had any polo shirts, I could wear them, but I don't. So just a nice shirt, either a long sleeve rolled up without a tie, or like a polo style shirt. Still nice pants, either khakis or my dress pants are fine. Depends on my mood. Um, and that's about it. I think anything else relevant? Um, no, no, I think that's everything. Sorry it took me like a month to update this time, but since the video is like going on 17 plus minutes now, I think I got all the information that I needed out. So, y'all have fun in America with all of the craziness that's going on there. Stay safe, and I'll stay safe here, and I'll talk to you again soon. So, bye bye.